Okay, it is 3 minutes to 6 o'clock on Saturday, March 21st. My third show of the day. Should have been 4, but the mystery of Shrek Jr. still leaves me wondering what happened. Anyway, I'm at PCA, Princeton Christian Academy in Princeton, Illinois. I famously don't like this gym. Not famously. I don't know why I said famously. I don't like this gym. It's very small, and when I'm here for sports games, which I've been to many, it's very crowded, and I don't like to sit with a lot of people around me. So I don't know how it's set up. I don't know if it's in the gym or if it's somewhere else. And if it is in the gym, I don't know if it's on bleachers or if they have chairs. So it's a school production, so tons of people are here early, but I'm going to go try to find a decent seat. I don't even know how much the tickets are. I couldn't find that information online. So hopefully I have enough with me. But here we go. It's The Sound of Music, if I didn't say that. I'm getting bad. I'm getting worse at these intros. I've been forgetting the days. I've been forgetting the shows. But let's go watch some Sound of Music. Okay. Today we are talking about The Sound of Music. I'm going to apologize up front because I'm very tired. Even though I slept in and just took a 3-hour nap or so. It's just one of those days. I had 3 different... I'm recording this on Sunday. I had 3 different plays I was considering seeing today, including a local school that's like less than 10 minutes from me, and I have just done nothing today. I just needed a day where I did nothing, but I'm still tired. So this school, it's in the conference both of where I teach now and my predecessor. So over the last 11 years, not counting the 1 year that I was subbing, I've been to this school a lot. I know some of the staff there. I know the music teacher there. I was very excited that it was not in the gym because, as I explained, I'm not a fan of that gym. So it was in what I would call the sanctuary. I'm not fully up on my church architectural terms. But this school has a church inside it, and the play was like in the part of a church where the church service would be. I've been in there before for choir rehearsals. And I wouldn't have expected them to put a play on there, but it worked pretty well. The stage is pretty small, but I was impressed with how much they were able to do with it. And the seating in there is just pews, but it seemed like they fit quite a lot of people in there. So that was interesting. I was, again, I wouldn't say surprised, but grateful that most of the singers in this were pretty strong singers. This is a really small school, and I have been to musicals of larger schools where not all of the cast were great singers. But, again, because I know this school, not that I know the school, but I'm somewhat familiar with the school, I do know that everyone in junior high, I don't know about high school, but everyone in junior high is required to be in choir. At least that's my understanding based on what I've been told from students that have gone there and transferred to my school. So it makes sense that the kids have a lot of singing experience. Now I don't know how much that really explains anything, because I assume that at most schools, the kids that are doing the musicals are probably overlap a lot with the kids that are in choir, but that might be a factor. But my point is, I've been to productions from larger schools that still struggle to find enough strong singers for their musical. So going to a small school's production like this, it was nice to see that most of them were strong singers. It seemed like a lot of the other shows I've been to, they utilized a lot of middle schoolers also in combination with their high schoolers. Um, as I said, I was impressed with what they were able to do with such a small stage. Um, and overall, I was, again, I don't want to say surprised because it's not like I thought it would be bad, but just a school this size, I was pleasantly surprised with how well it was done. Um, I did get into a bit of a. I was going to say a bit of a scuffle. That's not true. I had two people behind me that were talking to each other consistently and constantly for the first um, up until scene 4. So like this is the whole play, and up until here, 16 going on 17, they were literally just talking the entire time through all the dialogue scenes, through the songs, through the scene changes, which I wouldn't have cared about as much, but like relentless. And it's not that it was super loud, but it was right behind me, and there were. It didn't seem like any of the actors were using mics, and I was pretty far back, so I was struggling to hear them. So I did something I've never ever done before. Not just in stage theater, but in movies either. I turned around and asked them to stop talking. I've I've considered doing that many times. I've never actually done it before, but it was just literally like they were having a conversation out at lunch. Not talking about the play. The one of the last things I heard before I turned around was how he stopped at the gas station on his way here and blah blah blah. I'm just like, so I turned around and I didn't want to. I didn't want to fan any flames or start any trouble or anything like that. And there have been times that when dealing with this school that a lot of parents um, of children at this school tend to anger quickly and easily, and things can get worse than you think that they would or should. But in my meekest voice possible, I just kind of turned, and the scene for 16 going on 17 had started. They were talking at the start of the scene, and there was like the musical build up for the song to start was starting, and I just turn around and go, "Hey, can you guys stop talking so much, please?" And again, I've never done this before. I've been with people that have done this before, and like you see it in different situations, but like they acted surprised, like, "Oh, I'm sorry." It's like, don't act surprised. It's like children in my classroom when I tell them to stop talking and they're like surprised that I can hear them. I'm like, you are talking audibly, and I'm right here. Of course I can hear you. Everyone around you can hear you. So I thought that was kind of funny, but they apologized and they stopped, and they didn't talk during the play for the rest of the night. I did hear during intermission there was a man and a woman, and I did hear the man suggest that he might leave during intermission. I didn't. I don't think because of me or anything. I just think clearly they weren't very interested in the play because they wouldn't stop talking. And I don't know if he actually did leave or not. When the play was over, I went forward to go meet with the music teacher that I know, that was one of the directors, and shake her hand. So I didn't look behind me. So that was kind of, it's one of those things that you work up in your head, and it's like, well, I could tell them to be quiet, but I don't want to seem rude, and then I don't want to make them mad, and then they keep causing problems the whole rest of the play, blah, 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 blah. But it seemed like it was pretty much over and done with once I asked them, as politely as I could, to be quiet. So other than that, not a lot of issues with this. Some of the context for some of the songs are a little bit different than the movie, which I'm not super familiar with, but I have watched in the last couple months. But it seemed like those changes were made out of like staging necessities. So they didn't feel strange or out of place. They were just, I just noticed that they were a little different. But this was one that I didn't know about. Again, I'm filming this on Sunday. I went on Saturday. I didn't know about this until Saturday morning when I was in Geneva, in the Chicago suburbs, waiting for my 10 o'clock show of Dorothy in Wonderland. I just got on Facebook, and because I follow so many theaters, now Facebook just feeds me stuff about musicals from all over the country, but also some local things. And so I saw a post about this, and it was at 6:30, and of course there was no Sunday showing because it's a Christian school. So I was just like, I'll probably make it back by 6:30 because my last show here in the suburbs is at 1:30, and it's probably not going to be super long because it's a kids show. So I ended up having time again. I missed the noon Shrek show in the middle, but I saw my 10 a.m. Dorothy in Wonderland, 1:30 Alice in Wonderland. I did have enough time to come home, get some food, kind of reset my brain, meet with the pets, and then head to this show afterwards. So I was able to get in 3 shows in one day, which was originally my goal for the weekend. That dang Shrek kept me from getting 4, which would have been cool. But now I guess that's just a goal for the future. But I'm getting off topic now. I should specify this was the youth edition. Not entirely sure what that means, but I had, like I said, nothing against the school or the people there, but just because of the size of it, I was kind of wary of how a play with this many prominent characters, a musical with this many prominent characters would go, and I was pretty pleasantly surprised. I keep saying that phrase, but I think that's fairly accurate. So that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.